coming from that state, and also serves as the Vice Chairman of the entire Resource Committee. Mr. Gohmert, for 5 minutes.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm grateful to the chairman of our committee, and I appreciate the question, my colleague across the aisle, why now? And the answer to the question, why now, is that this government, this federal government, has not done its job, this Congress has not done its job in complying with the aspirations of the Constitution. When you have disagreement between documents, as we did between the Louisiana Purchase on the south border of the Red River and Oklahoma going to the middle of the Red River, and of course the Red River changes as time goes on, then the federal government should have long since have stepped in and said, here is the land we're talking about. Here is where the borders will actually go. And I'm amazed at times we talk in terms of agencies, of bureaus, of departments, as if there's some independent country that deserves a place at the United Nations, making policies and making executive decisions all their own. These people work for us. And the Bureau of Land Management does have some folks that don't understand that. They think they're an entity unto themselves and they make policy. Well, that's not what the Constitution set up. In fact, the Constitution and the preamble, as my friends know, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. This is what this bill is trying to do. Now, last Congress, my friend Mac Thornberry had a bill that went ahead and took care of the issue once and for all, and it was going to sell the land and this dispute could be over. But since friends in the Senate were not able to come to a conclusion, they still just could not figure out what an appropriate disposition was, then my friend Mr. Thornberry has come back with this bill, and it is consistent with what every good parent will tell the child. Before you make a decision, gather all the evidence and information in you can, then make a more educated, informed decision. That's all this bill does, Mr. Speaker. It says we're going to do a survey now. We're going to figure out what land we're talking about. And since the BLM has said we're not even going to even survey that land, we're going to leave it in dispute. We're not going to establish justice. We're going to worry about just us at the BLM. We're not going to ensure domestic tranquility. We're going to create chaos, because that's when we create chaos, then we benefit. We get more land. We put people in jail. Well, this is a simple bill, for heaven's sakes. It says we're going to do a survey. We're going to see what we got. That's all the bill does. Why now? Exactly. That's a great question. This should have been done 100 years ago or more than 100 years ago. It wasn't, so it's time to do it now and ensure domestic tranquility. So all of the parties involved, not the BLM, they're not a party, but the federal government, of Oklahoma and the government of Texas and all the owners involved can once and for all have domestic tranquility. I yield back.